Hi, this is Michael Helper with Sales Scripter, and today I want to talk to you about an example of a sales pitch that I experienced where somebody was trying to sell something to me. And what I want to do is I want to just kind of share with you how it went or what happened, and then share with you a couple things, small things that salesperson could have done to see a big improvement on that experience, or probably a big improvement on their ability to close the deal. And before I get to that exact example, when I talk about looking at your sales pitch and when I provide tips for how to improve what you're doing, I often use an example in our training videos. If you've watched our training videos, you'll know that I often use the example of selling a gym membership. And if you've watched many of our videos, you might be getting tired of that example. The reason why I use this example is that for two real reasons. One is it's a very simple product, so it's easy for us to talk about it in kind of a theoretical standpoint for you to understand what I'm explaining, and also to demonstrate that the tips I'm giving you apply to very simple products or very complex consultative selling technical products. So it can work really for anything, something simple or complex, and that's what a gym membership helps to explain. Also, when we talk about a gym membership, it's something that we can all relate to, because maybe half of the people that listen to this already go to a gym, so they kind of relate to what I'm talking about. And if you aren't someone that goes to a gym, well, you might connect with some of the reasons why you maybe should go to a gym, so you can relate to it from that standpoint. So that's an example that I often share in our training modules. And the reason why I bring that up talking here today about this real life example that I experienced is because the person selling to me that I want to talk about was trying to sell a gym membership. And so just to give you the background here, I'm currently traveling, and when I'm at home, I go to a gym almost daily, and I've been going to the same gym for about 10 years, and I'm traveling for an extended period of time, so I'm looking for a gym. And I went to a gym that I've been checking out, and I'm very interested in signing up to this particular gym. I'm probably a good prospect for this salesperson because I like to work out. I've already looked at their gym and whatnot. But let me tell you how things went. So I walk in, and then I get paired up with a salesperson, and what she does is she takes me on a tour of the facility. And early in the tour, she asks me, "What do you usually do? Do you take classes, or do you do weight training?" And I answer that question. By the way, that was probably maybe one of the only questions she asked me. So once I answered that question, she took me on a tour, showed me all the different amenities of the gym, and that was about a 10-minute walk around the gym. And then we ended up in the cafe area, and we sat down, and she brought me a glass of water, and then she had her sheet with 3 options and the different prices, and she went through the options. And then I don't know whether she asked me questions that kind of directed me to one of the options, or I letting her know which option I was most interested in. And then what she did is she crossed out the initiation fee and maybe another fee, and said, if you sign up, I won't charge you these today, and this is your price today if you sign up today. So that was really her pitch. She took me around the gym, took me on a tour, and what I would consider that is a product pitch. She showed me the product. She didn't really ask me any questions about me. So anyways, and then her close was pretty much, let me throw you some discounts, which, she might not have even had to do that. That was just her standard deal. I'll take this out if you sign up today. Now I'll tell you what, actually, before I tell you what I would recommend she did, let me tell you how it ended up. So the way that it ended was I ended up not signing up. And the reason why is because I wasn't ready to sign up that day. I'm doing a little bit more traveling, and I didn't want to sign up and start paying for the gym when I'm not able and ready to work out. So I knew that I wasn't going to sign up that day, and I kind of told her that. I said, "Hey, I'm probably not ready to sign up for about 2 weeks, and I'll sign up then. I'll probably come back and sign up then." And she really just kept pressing me, really trying to change the thing around, saying, "Oh, I could put it on hold for a week," which that still didn't work. And she really wanted to close me, and you could kind of tell that she was operating under the coaching of, don't let them leave without signing up, regardless of what they tell you. Kind of like at a car dealership, if you let the person leave, the rate of closing, it drastically decreases. And even knowing I'm probably going to sign up, she didn't know that, so she was really trying to prevent me to leave, and she really did not have anything to say or to do or to ask to really, as her last attempt. Once I really told her I wasn't signing up, she really didn't have any, let's say, ammunition or bullets in the gun or whatever, or ways to try to keep me or to sign me up. And so now let me talk about what she could have done differently. And by the way, with my tips here, it probably would give her something to work with at the end. But my main tip is she should have made it more about me. I told you the only question she asked was, do you do weight training or classes? Now, she could have asked me some really simple qualifying questions. Do you go to a gym today? Do you currently go to a gym? How often do you work out? What are some of your goals? What are some things you're trying to improve? What are some challenges you're having? What are some things you're trying to improve or make work better? Or what are some things that you like about working out? So, I'm not looking at a list of questions. I'm just kind of throwing those out at the top of my head. But what those questions would do is they would give her a lot more information. So, first of all, when she has that information, well, actually, let me back up. When would be a good time for her to ask these questions? Well, we were sitting at a table when we were looking at the pricing, and that would have been a really comfortable time to have a discussion. We're literally sitting at the table. In sales, you talk a lot about getting to the table. We were sitting at a table. But let's actually look at that, look much earlier in the process. She took me on a tour. Well, what would have been great is for her to ask the questions and learn more about me before the tour. What would that have enabled her to do? It would have enabled her to tailor what she showed me. It would have enabled her to tailor her pitch, her demonstration specifically towards me. If I answered her questions about, these are some of the exercises I like to do, or these are some things I want to improve, or these are some things that aren't working well, when she took me on a tour, she could show me, you said you like to do these exercises. Let me show you all the stuff we have in that area. You said that you want to, let's say, improve your six-pack and your belly or whatever. Let me show you some stuff that we have for that. So she could have tailored her tour and tying that to maybe your product, tailoring your demonstration. So the flow could have been, I walk in, and before she shows me anything, it's let's sit down, let's talk about you. Then she takes me on a tour. Then we go sit down again, and then she does the pricing and the close. Now let's apply that to your product. Let's say that you maybe do phone prospecting or send emails, and in one main step in your process might be a presentation or a demonstration. Well, the presentation or the demonstration is the equivalent of her taking me around the tour of the gym, right? So I said to you, she should have sat me down and learned about me before that. So what you can do with your pitch is that question of that discussion around, what do you currently work out? What do you do? What type of workouts do you do? How often do you work out? Those questions, for you, those would be questions that you might ask your prospect. What are you using today? What are some challenges you're having? Do you have a challenge with this? Are you interested in creating these improvements? So you ask these questions. Well, when would you ask those? Well, if you could ask those before you do your demonstration, and that will allow you to tailor your message and your demonstration to the questions you get back. It can also justify you closing for the demonstration. So obviously when I was at the facility, she already knows I'm there, so she doesn't have to close me for the tour. But sometimes you have to close between at the moment of asking questions and the meeting to deliver your presentation or demonstration. So your questions can help with that, with multiple closes. But speaking of closing, let's go back to the example. And I told you that she basically showed me the pricing and then she tried to close. And so what if she had more information about me? And when I said, well, I'm not going to sign up today. She could have pushed back on me. She could have said, I'm confused. You say that, you really want to lose some weight. You said that you don't feel good. She could have brought back my answers to her questions and said, I'm confused. Are these things, and brought that back as to why are we not moving forward? Now, I'm a really good prospect for her because I work out all the time and I'm going to sign up. But let's change my scenario to someone who's more fickle regarding how the questions would improve the close. Let's say that I don't work out. I'm a middle-aged man, 30 pounds overweight, and I stop by the gym to see, what's going on here and is this something that and then I know I need to work out. And then she shows me the pricing and I know, and I'm apprehensive about pulling the trigger. But she knows that I have these pain points. I'm overweight. I don't feel good about myself. I don't feel good. I don't sleep well at night. And, I want to improve my life, right? But then when I see the price tag, I coil up because of all the other anxiety and fear. And this going to the gym is something that I currently don't do. So when she initially tries to close, I don't agree, right? So what does she do then? She goes back to either asking me more questions or questioning based on my answers before. For example, she could say, well, I'm confused, Michael. You express a real desire to lose weight, and everything I've shown you can enable you to reach that goal. And I see people all the time. For example, there was another guy similar to you 6 months ago, and he's in here 3 times a week, and she could tell me about the changes he's received. That's an example of a name drop. And she could say she can go through the pain points that I had, and then push back on me and say, I'm confused. So are those genuine concerns you have, or maybe those aren't as important as you said they were earlier? So is it that they're important and you're nervous about moving forward, or maybe they aren't that important to you, so that this isn't the right fit for you? So a little bit of a takeaway there. I'm mixing a lot of maybe a little bit of complexity in terms of concepts together, but the main point that I want you to leave with is that asking the questions early on, and then at the close, when you're not able to, asking the questions early on gives you more ammunition when you're not able to close, and you can either use that information to continue to try to close again instead of just dropping the price or just trying to apply pressure. Bring back the information that the prospect gave to you, and if that doesn't work and you have questions that you didn't ask, just continue to ask questions until you until you're able to uncover something that seemed important. And at the end of the day, maybe you won't be able to close, but if you ask good questions and you go through that process, if the prospect leaves and walks out the door and never comes back, if you do all the right things, meaning asking the right questions and continuing to keep the conversation going, and it still doesn't happen, then you can feel good that you did everything right, and most likely it was just not a good prospect. Maybe they didn't have the money to spend, or they didn't genuinely need what you sell. So it's when you just show the product and you don't learn about the prospect, and then you don't extract good information and then communicate clearly, and maybe the prospect leaves because and basically with the product pushing pitch, that's really where salespeople end up just trying to push the close, and when the prospect doesn't agree, they push harder. And sometimes when you're just pushing the close, you just end up pushing the prospect away instead of having a really good conversation that really gets to the root of everything and either helps you to make a match between your product and the prospect's needs and make it clear in their eyes so that they agree to move forward, or you thoroughly go through all the different details and maybe you and the prospect identify it's just not the right fit, or it's not the right fit right now, and then you part ways, and maybe part ways forever, or you part ways for when the later date when the prospect is ready and it is a good fit. So I hope that example gives you some ideas of changes and improvements you can make to your sales pitch, and I wish you all the best, and let us know if you have any questions or want to discuss. Have a great day and happy selling.